downtown Detroit, it's Jason Carr Live with your host, Jason Carr.
Whoa. Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
There's some brief applause there. Those people get whipped into a frenzy instantly.
Real quick and then dies down.
Yeah. Rudy the dog is a good student and got to training school on the doggy school bus. Check out how excited he is to go to school.
Is that your bus? Is that your school bus?
Come on.
Just gets right on the bus.
Rudy the dog.
Rudy, is that your school bus?
That's hilarious. We are already into rich and compelling. Now this?
Yeah.
No way. That's such an edit. That is such an edit.
Why is that an edit?
You can see it.
All right, well, let's slow it down then.
Right there.
I don't know.
What do you all think? Real?
I like it. I think it's real. I think that they're absolutely
You don't think there's any
capable
special
of
effects involved?
vertical jumps like that. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen the guinea pig Olympics, but yeah, they're absolutely capable of these things.
There's something odd about right there.
I have more too. Hold on, look at this one.
Aw, puppies.
You gotta use your arms. Pull. Yeah. All right.
Oh. Good morning, CBBR and Tammy and Laura and Sarah and Linda and Kelly and Maria Couch Caucci and Carla Jean and Gary and Pam and Beth Savage. The death toll in parts of northern India, southern Nepal, and Bangladesh devastated by flooding and landslides over the past few days has risen to 218, while millions of others have been displaced. In Nepal, elephants were sent by local hotels to rescue tourists, which, they go there to do rhino watching and go on elephant rides. Deadly landslides and flooding common across South Asia during the summer monsoon season, June until September.
It's amazing because this is one of the few ways to get people out of these areas is by elephant.
Christina Wilson Litton says, "Wow, this is the best way to wake up.
Hello, all right.
We're like Folgers in your cup." When a Canadian woman lost her diamond engagement ring in the garden 13 years ago, she thought it was gone for good, but this week it was found on a carrot plucked from the soil on the family farm. 84-year-old Mary Graham said she thinks she lost the ring while pulling a large weed. She's had the original ring since 1951, a year before she married her husband. After it was lost, she quickly replaced it. Her daughter-in-law was the one who pulled the lucky carrot from the ground. How many carrots is this?
How crazy.
Carrot, cut, color, clarity?
Clarity, is that the other one?
4 C's, I think. Mm-hmm. You'll find out one day.
One day.
One day. Laura says, "Thanks for all the smiles." Oh, you mean your smile? I'm sorry. Maria Couch Caucci, what the heck? She is so fortunate to have found it. Hundreds of people gathered on a town square in the eastern Belgian city of Malmedy yesterday to feast on a traditional giant omelet made annually for the past 22 years. by the World Fraternity of Knights of the Giant Omelet.
I mean, I got to join. How do you join that fraternity?
The egg, bacon, and herb omelet was made with 10,000 eggs and cooked in a 13-foot wide pan before being served to people at the event. How long does it take to crack 13,000 eggs?
10,000, right? Wasn't it
10,000 eggs?
A long time.
Where the first egg you crack is as fresh as the last egg that you crack to make this omelet.
I didn't realize that an egg would kind of become less fresh as you're cracking, but I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
Think about how long it takes.
I mean, if you got 10,000 people, it's not going to take very long.
The president of the local branch of the Giant Omelet Fraternity said she was confident there would be no issues eating a plate of the omelet despite an ongoing health scare linked to eggs contaminated with a potentially harmful insecticide. Oh, yay. A line of storms moved through New Orleans yesterday, producing a water spout over Lake Pontchartrain in, how do you say that, Metairie? Metairie? It doesn't appear it moved over the land there or caused any damage, but I've seen these on Lake Huron. This comes to us from our Daycam photographer, 504.
504? Yep.
Yeah.
It's a strange name, but...
he speaks with a French accent.
Well,
we have the night cam, Tim Pamplin.
And then our robot correspondent, 504.
Yes. The robot who speaks with the French accent. Beep, boop, boop, boop. What's up, Shane, Michelle, Clifford, Cindy? A Sumatran male tiger at Denmark's Aalborg Zoo had his day at the dentist after a broken tooth. Yeah, that's what he looks like. Veteran surgeons or veterinary surgeons sedated Batu so they could fix his tooth before the problem worsened. I've been there a while.
I mean, I don't care how sedated it is. You've got your hand in a tiger's mouth.
I know. You'd have to be really trusting of the anesthetist.
Well, the anesthesiologist is just a person with a gun, with a dart. So I don't know how...
Speaking of tigers, the toxicology report came back on Tiger Woods.
How about that transition?
Huh? You couldn't work in the Detroit Tigers anywhere in there?
No.
Boy, are they in a wretched state of affairs right now. There were 5 different drugs in Tiger Woods' system when he was arrested in May, according to a toxicology report. Vicodin, Ambien, Xanax, and THC.
Hey, how about that?
Police in Jupiter, Florida arrested the golfer on suspicion of driving under the influence. Officers say they found Woods asleep in his car not far from his house. So he checked into a clinic to help him deal with prescription drugs. He's undergone 4 back surgeries in 3 years. He says in a statement that he'd been trying to treat back and insomnia on his own and realizes it was a mistake to do this without medical assistance.
Yes, or a medical degree. Dr. Tiger Woods. Yeah, Julie, they didn't. I didn't actually see the toxicology report. There must have been a couple other ones.
Dunkin' Donuts is bringing back its fall menu in August, including some of your favorite pumpkin spice flavored things, plus something new. It's called pumpkin cheese spread for your bagel. I also have maple pecan or pecan flavored coffees and lattes.
Pecan.
Pecan. That's Billy Crystal in When Harry Met Sally.
Now, I grabbed something I didn't put in the rundown. Take a look at this scene from Willy Wonka. All right.
You notice something?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I'd never noticed that before, and she just gets chinned.
Does she, or does she duck just in the
I
nick of
think
time?
she gets hit.
Let's debate this. Who can make a rainbow? Sprinkle it with dew. Chicken, chicken, man. So what do you guys think? Does she clear just barely, or does she really get conked in the chin?
It doesn't look like she hits that hard, but I think her head's getting pushed back a little.
She isn't paying attention, so there's that. And she's looking over here while he's performing, and then all of a sudden whoa!
You know, there aren't enough candy stores like this.
Returning to our top story, slugged, I kid you not, dog school bus. Rudy the dog is a good student and got to training school on the doggy school bus. Check how excited he is to go to school.
Now, the only thing that I think could make this better is if Rudy had a backpack.
Is it your school bus?
A backpack and a lunchbox.
And a trapper keeper? Yeah. Go, Rudy, go. Go, Rudy, go. The Candyman can. The Candyman can.
It is a good
Hello,
impression.
Detroit. What?
That's a good impression. Now, the issue with having a candy store like this is and you'd have to charge a lot for the candy to be able to keep these type of standards up, I would imagine.
Can we see Rich and Compelling? It doesn't look real.
These animals, these guinea pigs are capable of incredible things.
It looks like an edit. When he's at the apex, it looks like almost like a jump cut. But you're insistent that this is...
I mean, we got to look up what a guinea pig's vertical jump possibilities are, but I don't know.
Hey, can I, TV's Ken, can I have the dry erase? The dry erase? You remember this?
Oh, yeah. What was that?
What do we
the
call
elk,
him?
right?
Is it Beatnik Elk? I think it is. Yeah. Hi, Ken. I'm Beatnik Elk.
Now, Maria says that there's a candy store like that in Highland off M59. I am going to have to check that out. I'm what they
candy
call
store?
a candy connoisseur.
Hey, Maria, did you go to Highland House? Thanks, Hoda. Hoda's got my back, as does Victoria. Beatnik Elk. And that's a puppy bulldog trying to get over the threshold there.
You feel for him, but he's got it. He's got it under control. Now, you had sent one to me that we didn't do. Where was it? And it's because we did it on Monday when you weren't here. But take a look at the moose.
Oh, you used that on Monday?
Yeah, I think we talked about it on Monday. This was in Sweden, and this is the BBC had said that there was only 100 of these moose in Sweden, and that it's not an albino moose. That to be albino, you have to have red or pink eyes.
Pink eyes.
And that this is just a regular moose with white fur. And then we ended up getting to a whole conversation about what might be faster, whether a moose
Who are
or
you
a
talking
horse. The audience. I had to look into the camera and ask, like, what would be faster? And everyone agreed that horses are faster, but I had said that maybe their legs are a little longer, they've got a little bit more reach. So, yeah, that's what happened. And then, you missed it. At the end of the show, I got to say, oh, look at the time, I got to go do Live in the D, and so it was awesome. It was great.
John having way too much fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you'll like this. I thought of you last night because I kind of said something that just like made me feel like I was old.
So you thought of me?
Well, because we always have this conversation on the show about things like this. And someone had said they were watching Cool Runnings. I said, oh my God, I saw that in theaters. I remember like a whole bunch of the family were going to go see Mrs. Doubtfire or we were going to see Cool Runnings.
1993.
And then I said, wow, yeah, John Candy was alive. And I thought, wow, is that really how I'm like breaking up, time events by which actor was alive?
Anyway. John Candy, he was great. He will be, he's been sorely missed. Closest he ever came to playing himself, I understand, was in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, from what I've read. What do you have there?
That's a ladybug.
Ta-da! It's strangely compelling. Also out that way by Maria Couch Caucci, speaking of Highland House, I think The Root is out that way. The restaurant The Root.
The Root.
You been to The Root?
Never been to The Root. What do they have?
The Root. You got to pull it up by the root. The Root. It's out there on M59.
How's it spelled? Like a plant's root?
Yeah,
or, okay.
R-O-O-T. This is the part of the program where we have exhausted the rundown and now we're just improvising. So feel free to hang out because that's the whole idea here for the next however many minutes we go.
So this place, huh?
The Root. Here it is, restaurant and bar. 2012 Free Press Restaurant of the Year.
2012.
Pioneer. Why do you? I went to Isbister and Pioneer, yeah. Kim Possible Martin says John Candy was awesome. Loved him in Maureen O'Hara, one of his last roles, Only the Lonely. That was the soap opera movie, wasn't it? Or the lesser soap opera movie, the other one being Soap Dish, or the one with Sally Field.
I don't think I ever saw that. I assumed Cool Runnings was his last one.
No, he was in Wagons East with Richard Lewis. I think that was his last role, was Wagons East. Thank you, Victoria. Yes, good to see the fam. Not have to get up in the middle of the night to come to work.
Canadian Bacon. He played Sheriff Bud Boomer in 1995. Huh?
Michael Moore movie, Canadian Bacon.
I've never seen that either. That's
Did
a
you
Michael
find
Moore
Wagons
movie?
East?
Yeah,
Was
Wagons
that 94?
East. He played, that was 94. Hostage
Talking
for a
about John
Day
Candy.
was a TV movie. And Cool Runnings in 93. Oh, and then he was in Rookie of the Year, and he played the announcer. Yeah, I remember that one.
Leah Coke Moore says, isn't anybody going to bring up the devastating closing of Joe's Crab Shack?
I didn't know it was closing. Now, Jane has something really interesting in here. She says that Candy always had the last frame of every film and that it was in his contract that the movie would end with him in the last frame. That's incredible. I'd have to go back and see that that's actually true.
Well,
I mean, I'm
We know
thinking
the
planes,
last
trains,
frame
and
of
automobiles. Like,
is a freeze frame, a literal freeze frame.
Yeah.
He smiles, and they freeze it.
he, at Home Alone. No, but that was kind of a supporting character. That won't
Maybe it was
count.
only when he's the
When
lead.
he's the lead?
Yeah. Oh, here we go again. Bom dia a todos que mes faze o nom Jason. No idea what I just said.
Me gusto queso.
I probably just insulted an entire country by reading that.
Well, let's get Google Translate out and find out what's going on with this.
Christy says Uncle Buck. She says Block, but I think she means Buck was my favorite.
Let's see.
You know what I didn't like about Uncle Buck? I didn't like how, like, okay, we get it. The daughter has an attitude problem. She's snotty. Mm-hmm. Way over the top snotty. She almost ruins the movie.
Yeah.
By being
Overacting.
overly snide and nasty.
Yeah. No human being is like that. You know, especially with your uncle. Maybe you don't care, but come on. Yeah.
I found her off-putting in that role, in that movie.
So, bom dia se tostadas means good morning, everyone. But then the second part, I'm getting a weird translation. And Google tells me, oh, wait, maybe it's because is this Portuguese? No.
Yeah.
That's probably what. Is it Portuguese? All right, well, then she's saying, what are you doing for years, Jason?
For years?
That's what Google Translate's telling me, which can't be right.
Tammy says, yes, she was a snot. Julie says, did anybody even go to Joe's anymore? I was just there recently. I like me a bucket of shrimp. Woo-wee! What do you think they made of that up in sales? We have this atrium that's 2 stories tall, but we have a ceiling above us here in the newsroom, and above the ceiling is the second floor, and that's where sales is. So anything that echoes out into the atrium is going to bounce off the wall and go up into the sales department.
Now, this is cool. In the back end, oh, you know what? It's not going to let me do it that way. But I can go back through and find all of our old rich and compelling videos. You weren't here for this, but here's a dog that's pretty excited about a tennis ball, which I get. You know, they're green, they're yellow, they're soft, they feel good when you chew on them.
Go ahead, put it up full. Husky, huh? Or is that a corgi or no?
Some sort of corgi. And then take a look at this one.
That's funny. America's funniest videos right here. The Great Outdoors with Dan Aykroyd and John Candy.
And the last scene in that movie is the whole song and dance thing. I bet it ends on him. Yeah.
He's doing this. Kara is quoting Uncle Buck. Listen, I like the movie that he did with Eugene Levy. What was it? Was it Armed and Dangerous?
Armed and Dangerous.
The movie about they're like rent-a-cops.
Yes.
Meg Ryan is in it. It's like from 1989? 87? 80? No.
86.
86.
Yeah.
A young Meg Ryan in all of her pixie cute glory.
There it is.
I thought this movie was funny. Who's Hearing Crumb was sort of regrettable. Summer Rental, that's a Carl Reiner movie. That's worth a look, for sure. I mean, he's watchable in everything. Barf and Spaceballs.
Yeah. There's going to be a Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. It's actually happening.
Yeah, Clifford reminds us that SCTV rocked as well.
SCTV.
Man, somebody is really excited
Yeah,
up there.
I'm thinking about maybe muting and giving them a little shout, telling them to.
Hey, knock it off up there. What's going on?
Oh, he was in the movie Splash.
Yes, he was with Tom Hanks. Played, I believe, Tom Hanks' brother. The ne'er-do-well without the V, ne'er-do-well.
Man, there's a lot of John Candy movies I haven't seen. 1941.
Stripes.
Stripes, yeah, Stripes is a great movie.
Dun, 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 dun,
The
dun,
Clown
dun,
Murders?
dun, dun,
What are
dun,
these
dun, dun,
films?
dun. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. John, you have a visitor.
Hey, how you doing?
In Splash, he smoked while playing racquetball. Christina's calling us out. So how much more time to burn?
Yeah, as long as we want, really.
As long as you're watching. I mean, if our live viewership dips below 100, I suppose that pretty much seals the deal, right? It'd be funny if, like, the very second that it dropped below 100, you just pull the plug.
We should just have it set that way so I have no control over it, too. Like the movie Speed.
Maria says, unfortunately, I have not seen many of his movies.
I mean, I thought I'd seen a lot of them, but I'm looking through the list, and there's a whole bunch of them that I must have missed.
Georgia daring to incense the film comedy snobs by saying Stripes fell apart middle to end, though. She's kind of got a point.
Absolutely,
She's
yeah.
kind of got a point. But that scene where, those early scenes, like when they introduced John Larroquette's character, like with the binoculars in the shower, and
Yeah.
he gets surprised. He's playing with war games with his toys and stuff. Good stuff.
People call me Psycho. My real name's Francis. If you call
Lighten
me
up,
Francis,
Francis. I'll cue you.
But it really is like the once they get out of basic training, it just kind of the whole movie changes a little bit, and it's still fun, but it's not the first
Right.
half.
Well, and there's another movie from the 80s that, like, halfway through totally changes direction, which is Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one movie for the first 45 minutes and then an entirely different movie for the next hour. I mean, all in all, a 4-star movie for sure, but... What is this? We have a dog on a bike?
Because I label all of those videos rich. So I can go through the back end and just search rich and find all of, like, a huge list of these things. So, it's just nice to be able to cycle through some of our older stuff.
The death toll in parts of northern India, southern Nepal, and Bangladesh, devastated by flooding and landslides over the past few days, has gone up to 218. Millions of people displaced. Elephants were sent by local hotels to rescue stranded tourists. Deadly landslides and flooding are common across South Asia during the summer monsoon season that stretches from June until September.
It's a long flood season. Now, Clifford, that quote is from Lethal Weapon. I think, out of all the reboots, out of all the sequels we've done, we could use another Lethal Weapon sequel, right?
That's presuming that people can tolerate or enjoy Mel Gibson in the way they once did.
Yeah.
I mean, Danny Glover has a lot of goodwill.
Maybe it equals out. It's an equilibrium thing.
And we, whatever Leo wants, Leo gets. They had the drive-through. Okay, so we're going to wrap things up here, and we'll see you on Live in the D at the top of the hour on Local 4.
Stay classy, Detroit.